My sources are Characteristics of Babysitting from an extension of the University of Illinois and Babysitter Traits by Stephanie St. Martin from care.com. When I was 13, I started babysitting around my neighborhood. This is a tradition as old as sliced bread, getting paid a few bucks an hour to watch the neighbor's kids on date night. But as time has gone on, babysitters have been seeing a rise in hourly pay, as parents have raised their standard for what makes a good babysitter. With this new competition, the babysitting game has never been so booming. This year, thousands of teenagers and young adults will walk down the street to their neighbors' houses and babysit. And I want to show you how you can be the #1 babysitter in your neighborhood. Throughout this speech, I will give you tips on how to effectively communicate with children, how best to entertain them, and how to go that extra mile to make yourself stand out. The first step to making yourself the best babysitter you can is developing strong communication skills. Communicating with adults is very different from communicating with children, so adjust your tone and word choice accordingly. All children are different and learn at different rates, but more likely than not, the child you're babysitting will not know what the words repercussions of your actions mean. So please, do not confuse them. Answer questions and give directions using clear and simple language. Nothing you would find on the SAT. Also, speak in positives, not negatives. For example, avoid saying things like, "Don't run up the stairs." This puts the idea of running into their head, and they love to do the opposite of what you say. Instead, say walk up the stairs. Taking running out of the equation, they are much more likely to follow directions the first time when it is given to them via positive means. Another easy and useful technique to use is repetition, but not in the normal memorization way. With children, always repeat the same wording for a direction or phrase, so that whenever the children hear that phrase, they immediately recognize it because they've heard it before. Children can be very, very stubborn, and they will let you know when they don't want to do something. Getting children to pick up after themselves can be very difficult, and even parents find it frustrating, so don't be too hard on yourself if you're having some trouble. An old trick is bargaining, sometimes called bribing, which makes it seem a lot worse than it really is. An easy example would be telling a child that if they pick up all their toys, they can have a cookie or a dessert snack. This is where we see the negatives of bargaining, as in that scenario, the babysitter is using an outside force to motivate the child to clean, the cookie. The better way of utilizing this method is using something the child already wants to do. If the child hasn't cleaned up their toys, but wants to go outside or watch TV, tell them that yes, we can absolutely do that, but first we must clean up our mess. The best part of babysitting, by far, is getting to play. When it's just you and those kids, you get to be a kid again too. But that doesn't mean you get to be aimless and careless, as kids are. Play needs to be supervised carefully, and anything can happen in those few seconds you look away. So be prepared in the event of an emergency. Always know who to call and where the closest emergency room is if necessary. Hopefully you will never have to use this information in an emergency, but over-prepared is always the best way to go. Also in regards to being prepared, make sure you have enough things to do to fill the time you're with the kids. My favorite from my babysitting days was making pillow forts, which really lets them get creative and use their own imagination to create their own fun. Taking them outside, if allowed of course, is a great way to have them run around and get out their energy. Have them play group games like Red Rover or hide and seek, and get involved too. Playing with the children is the easiest way of making sure that they're playing safe, and it's fun for you too. But that doesn't mean you get to take your eye off the ball. Your head should be on a swivel, making sure those kids are safe and happy. Crafts are a great way to sit them down and have them relax and cool off. Simple construction paper and glue can create hours of fun and lots of memories for their parents to hang up. It's a good idea to have the kids clean up their own mess, but the majority of our cleaning will fall on the babysitter. Make sure you know where all necessary cleaning supplies are before you start any mess. You don't want to have to call mom before she gets home, especially if those crafts are meant to be a surprise. The measure of a good babysitter is how happy the kids are when the parents are away. Make sure the kids are happy and the parents will be happy too. But I don't want you to be just a good babysitter. I want you to be the best babysitter. Here are some easy tips that will make you go the extra mile. Cleanliness, as they say, is next to godliness. So make sure that house is spotless before the parents get home. Toys should be put away, art mess should be cleaned up, and kitchen counters should be sanitized. Keep a mental note of any scrapes or bruises that occur under your watch, and let the parents know of anything that is of concern, and even the little things, just so they're informed. Don't be nervous. The parents understand that kids hurt themselves, and they'll appreciate you letting them know what went on when they're away. Always remember, when the parents are away, the kids own the house. So the final tip I shall leave you with is this. Act like their friend, and they'll ask their mom to call you back again and have you babysit. Act like their mom, and you might not get a call back.